Here's the thing. My cousin and I have very different ideas about what it means to be a hero. He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
The brigands brought destruction to every corner of the universe. The galaxy must be defended.
You cannot give up on me.
Welcome back to the latest Weekend Warrior video review. This time for Warner Brothers and DC Entertainment's Supergirl, which many have been anticipating, I guess, because the character made a brief cameo in last year's Superman, written and directed by James Gunn. She's back, as is her troublemaking dog Crypto, and she gets a solo movie. So this is only the second Supergirl solo movie ever. The last one being in the 80s sometime, I think it was 1984. So this is a pretty big risk for Warner Brothers and for DC Entertainment and for co-executives James Gunn and Peter Safran. But I think James Gunn is all in with Superman now, and so he's bringing Supergirl and Crypto back to the screens. He's introducing Lobo, as played by Jason Momoa, and he's not directing this one. No, this is directed by Craig Gillespie, best known for Cruella, for I, Tonya, other things like that. But I saw Supergirl this morning. I just came back not too long ago, so I'm recording this right away just to keep it fresh. I'm also going to be kind of winging this. I'm not going to be like reading completely from a script. I have a few notes, but let's talk about it. I mean, obviously, if you saw Superman and you liked Crypto and you liked Supergirl there, you'll probably want to see this movie. More importantly, this is actually semi-based on a comic book series from writer Tom King and artist Bilky Elvely, which came out a few years ago. The comic book offered inspiration for Anna Guerra, who has not actually had a produced screenplay at DC just yet. This is her first screenplay at DC. She has a couple other things she's been writing, including a Wonder Woman movie and apparently a Teen Titans movie as well. Anyway, she had some source material, which I think is more than you could say for James Gunn's Superman movie, which had a lot of different ideas kind of thrown together. Supergirl is a lot more focused, which I think helps it a lot. But it opens with like a title montage, which features Millie Alcock's Kara Zor-El traveling through space with a trusty troublemaking dog Crypto. We then go to another planet where we see Eve Ridley's Ruthie lose her entire family during a visit by Matthias Schoenert's Krem, who leads a band called the Brigands, who are very similar to the Ravagers from the Guardians of the Galaxy series. But again, these are from different comics. But yeah, after losing her family, Ruthie, armed only with a sword, goes out looking for someone to help track Krem. To get revenge on Krem for the murder of her family, she ends up running into Kara at a bar where Kara is celebrating her 23rd birthday by getting very, very drunk, which is kind of sort of how we saw her in Superman also. She was definitely like Gen Z's, drinking, partying, having fun. I mean, she's young. I mean, what do you expect her to do? But she also has a bit of a trauma and trouble from her past, which we'll learn as the movie goes on. So Ruthie approaches Kara to help her. Kara doesn't want anything to do with it. She just wants to keep getting drunk. Then while they're fighting, Krem poisons Kara's dog, Crypto. The only way to cure Crypto is to get the anti-venom from Krem. So that puts Kara into a position where she has to kind of help Ruthie find Krem. And that's pretty much the plot of the movie. It's basically Kara meeting Ruthie, the two of them going after Krem. They meet all sorts of characters along the way, lots of aliens speaking interesting languages, I guess, if you're interested in that kind of thing. They end up running into Lobo, played by Jason Momoa. He's an anti-hero. He kind of helps them as they go along. As I mentioned before, this is very much based on Tom King and Bilky Elvely's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow miniseries from a few years back. And it's particularly the story, but also some of the look of the movie and how it looks, which, again, I have some problems with it. It just definitely took a lot of liberties with that because he wanted to, like, use the Kara Zor-El created for Superman. He was definitely, like, drunk and a little more troubled and, it doesn't really give us much of a shit as a character in the comic book. And the comic book is very, it's a little more, it's definitely more serious. It doesn't have all the yuck humor that has become kind of a staple of James Gunn's Marvel work and now his DC work as well. Let's get into it. Again, I'm going to avoid spoilers. I always try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. I mean, one of the things that I liked about Supergirl, but also had problems with it, is it's very much a space opera. It's very much of Kara Zor-El in space. There isn't much of Metropolis, which is good, because I really didn't like Metropolis. I'm not a I didn't like Superman. I mean, let's just face it. I was not a fan of Superman. Thought there was just too many ideas thrown at it, too many characters. This is definitely tighter. It's definitely like a little more, concise and gets to the point and focused. But it's also very formulaic because it's a space opera and it basically does a lot of the stuff that we've seen in other space operas, and that includes Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, it's gonna be get a lot of comparisons to Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe not favorable ones. Then it also has comparisons to Star Wars because it keeps going back to the Mos Eisley Cantina thing, where you have a room filled with aliens of all types, mostly made of practically involving heavy prosthetics, all of them speaking alien languages. And the movie just doesn't do this just once; it does it twice. It's like Kara and Ruthie keeps on going to these places where they encounter all these aliens who just, they want to steal her sword, they want to beat him up, whatever. I mean, the whole thing is that Krem and the Brigands, their basically whole thing is they're basically kidnapping girls, basically to help breed more Brigands. That's the whole thing. So basically, they're kidnapping girls. A lot of this is involves the sex trafficking, which is kind of a weird movie for, a movie you'd expect to be appealing to young girls. It's kind of an odd decision. But maybe the first 15 or 20 minutes of this, we're watching Kara being kind of drunk, and she's on a red planet because she knows she can't get drunk on a yellow planet because her Kryptonian powers being given by a yellow sun would basically make her not be able to be drunk. So she goes to red. She's being on a red planet, so she get drunk, and that's about the first 15 or 20 minutes. And there's some fun stuff about watching her fight while drunk. I mean, I love Jackie Chan's Drunken Master. It's just kind of similar type of thing where she's kind of like not completely, she's not completely there while fighting. Later on, she goes to planets with a yellow sun, and then all of a sudden she has her powers again. But it's a long time before we actually see her in the Supergirl costume. It's kind of floating around, but we're seeing her just in kind of street clothes. She has a cool Blondie t-shirt, so I guess she's has good taste in music, I guess. But yeah, it's one of these movies that it's kind of like, I mean, there's a formula to what James Gunn does these days, and it's this thing about trying to be cool, making jokes. I mean, there's some of the same jokes we've seen in some of his other movies. There's the, oh, look at my pocket. Let's see what's there. Oh, it's the middle finger. He's done this before. This is all stuff we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's that, and that's kind of problematic. I mean, I liked Millie Alcock a lot as Kara. I actually kind of liked Eve Ridley better as Ruthie, but like the two of them together, really good. Jason Momoa's Lobo. I mean, I'm not a huge Lobo fan. I actually never really liked the comics that much. It was always kind of fun. I'd read them. I mean, my favorite thing about Lobo is that the artist who drew him, Simon Bisley, I've met him before, and he literally is Lobo. So that's kind of funny that Simon Bisley created a character who's basically him. I'm not sure if the writer that was the intention, but anyway. But Lobo's a lot of fun. The three of them together are a lot of fun. Matthias Schoenaerts is a great actor. I love a lot of his movies. Western Bone was a great one. But his villain, his Krem villain, it doesn't really, I don't know. It's not one of the better comic book superhero movie villains. So there's that. That's kind of a problem. The movie itself doesn't look great. It's very dark at times. The editing is kind of not great in some of the action movies. So it's kind of hard to follow what's going on for a lot of it. And that's kind of like was a little bit disconcerting. There were things I liked though, like I said before. I mean, I liked Eve Ridley as Ruthie. There was a flashback to Krypton exploding and Argo City kind of getting a force field over it and becoming its own planet. And you watch as this planet goes off its own. But then eventually Kara is sent off by her parents. This is not spoilers, this is all part of the lore of the character. She ends up on Earth. She meets Kal-El. David Corenswet makes a couple appearances in this movie, and I gotta say, I'm not sold on him as Superman yet. And even these little small appearances, I think it really felt phoned in. It really felt like he kind of just went in, did a couple of, it was just not good. It was like, I feel like David Corenswet as Superman in this movie is the weakest part of the whole movie. I mean, the movie has other problems, like I mentioned before. It's dark, it's formulaic, whatever, but I could have done without Cornsweet and Superman in this movie. And I mean, James Gunn's going to really have to convince me with next year's Man of Tomorrow that Cornsweet was right choice for Superman because I am not convinced whatsoever. But yeah, the movie it reminded me a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy. I generally like those movies. I like the first and third the best. Second, maybe not so much. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I feel like opinions will definitely be varied in this. I mean, this is a flawed movie. I feel like this version of Supergirl is a flawed character. I actually kind of enjoyed that also. I also like that a lot of the movie, she's kind of like just has very messy hair, unwashed, uncombed, unbrushed. Because we're so used to Supergirl with like the perfect blonde hair, straight blonde hair. And you know what? Let's get a an anti-hero. Let's get someone who's just not completely perfect. But I feel like Supergirl the movie is very much like Supergirl the character. It's flawed. It's imperfect. Part of that is enjoyable. Part of that's a little messy and maybe not good. But ultimately, I'm giving Supergirl a 7 out of 10. I was wavering between that and a 6.5. Both fresh though. I feel like the ending of the movie, like the last act, was great. There's a great like payoff to everything that we've been watching. Whether I watch it again, maybe. I don't know if I'd rush out to see it again, but I definitely liked it more than Superman last year, which is good. Maybe not liked it as much as the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I definitely like those, but I don't know. I think I would give. I think doing a movie with just Supergirl and Lobo and a character who's probably just going to be in this one movie, Ruthie. It's fine. I think I think if you're interested in Supergirl, or if you like the comic on which this is based, go see it. Have some fun. There's some fun moments. It's not nearly as funny as it thinks it is. I mean, some of the jokes don't land whatsoever, but otherwise, I've seen worse this year, this month, and I sort of will half recommend Supergirl.
Now it's a party.
Oh, that might be a problem.
I know it's pretty colorful, but that's just so everyone knows we're good.
I'm going to tell you something. Only one of you is going to make it out alive.
We haven't been formally introduced.